It's everybody's favorite time. We're going to open 100 collector's reserves, and we're going to see how many credits we get. We're going to see how many tokens we get, and I guess how many golden tickets. Oh god, I literally just let those rot every month. Not a big Conquest fan. And how many variants we get. 100 tokens, we'll always take those turn into cards. Always excited to see our variants. Yes, I know I don't play the variants. Oh, I am not excited to see the pixel portraits, the avatars here. He's got just like a weird little blueberry next to him, a little floating circle there. It looks funny. I'm sure in the full context of the art that's like debris or something, but in the portrait it looks very, very funny. So we'll also get some titles, I'm sure. I know I opened a couple extra reserves before the video started because I had 102 reserves and it was really gonna bug me to have like more than 100. So I opened a couple, and they were both titles. Colossus, this looks okay. This is cool. Fine, Avatar. You know, if they had a random button where you could just hit the random, like put a randomizer portrait on or a randomizer variant on all your cards, I would totally do that. In every game, we'd have different portraits. Every game, we'd have different variants. It'd be very fun to kind of see and react to those, but as it stands, it's just too much work. Okay, Claw. Good Dan Hip. I don't know if this is one of the Dan Hip albums. It is Staying Hip, the ongoing one. Okay, cool. So perhaps a little bit of album progress. I always like to see that. Those albums sometimes just give you free stuff. I know there's a couple times I've gotten like just 2,000 tokens or something for free added in. So that's a nice bonus. Tickets are not a bonus. When I get those tickets, it basically is like, here's 3 boosters or something. The conversion rate of unused tickets is ridiculously, hilariously bad. So not my favorite, but a lot of tokens so far. I mean, I know it's like fixed intervals, so we're gonna have, you know, the same results as always in essence, but it's nice to get those streaks. And refilling my credits reserve, I didn't have a ton. Oh, hey, is this gonna be another ongoing Dan Hip? Staying Hip, maybe? There's also that, isn't there like a small Dan Hip? Oh, maybe neither. Okay. The album pop-up didn't happen out. Disappointing. My Dan Hip's got to be close to complete though, man. I have so many. I guess we saw we had 7 out of 12 on that one, but feels like I have 100 of those. Ooh, the Luchador Century. Maybe we'll get a Luchador album. There are quite a few of the Luchador skins, I feel like. Now it pops up. I guess it was delayed. That really was on the ongoing Hip. Okay. 8 out of 12 might be a breakpoint where we get a goodie, though. Daredevil. Classic Daredevil costume. That's cool. I say that like I know, and I'm a big Daredevil guy. Miles Morales. Okay. Like Miles. Did you guys see like the leaks for the Spider-Man season? It's hard to know exactly because, you know, it's like kind of a data mined thing. But they showed like symbiote Spider-Man as its own character, like its own card. Whereas in the past, they had this hard line about like for it to be a card, you know, it has to be a really distinct, famous character. Like the difference between Miles and normal Spider-Man, Peter, like Miles is his own unique character. So even though they're both Spider-Man, you know, Miles deserves his own card. You got like Jane Foster and Thor, similar sort of idea. But then symbiote Spider-Man looked like it was going to be its own card because it had like its own logo, which, you know, the logo would only be there if it was its own unique card. But I just thought symbiote Spider-Man just meant Peter wearing the symbiote suit, right? Oh, cool, the Agatha portrait. So I don't know if they're gonna like change that rule. Like symbiote Spider-Man's not its own unique character; it's just a costume. You would think that would be a variant. I don't know. Maybe something we don't know. You know, we don't know all the details, obviously. So I'm intrigued. We'll see. We'll learn. Credits. I think it's, do you guys think it's kind of weird, by the way, to get credits as a reward? Anyone seen my brain? Okay, I kind of like that one. I do like the self-deprecating titles. That's my favorite brand of titles. Unlike the like really weird, goofy food reference ones or whatever, I do like the self-deprecating ones. Those feel like something I'd use. But anyway, getting credits as a reward on the rewards track is so strange to me because credits are what you spend to unlock the rewards. So it's like, in essence, they could have just made upgrading cheaper and it would be the same. You're just getting a refund on your upgrades. My coffin has air conditioning. Wow. Great title. I'm so happy to have that. But my presumption is that they wanted it to feel like you were getting stuff more often. Like they want those little, you know, hits of positivity, the kind of positive reinforcement. Oh, click the button, get something cool. And they didn't have anything else to give you, so they just gave you credits. So it's like the whole thing is balanced around getting refunds, basically, so they get those extra little ticks of endorphins or whatever. Okay, Pixie, I think it's cool how there's other characters in this one. You kind of get a 5 for 1. Is endorphins the right word? Reason that doesn't sound right to me. My brain's turned off a little bit, as that title might suggest. All right. I feel like I'm going too fast, but we're just not getting a lot of cool variants yet. Tokens. Because, I mean, look, like half the, or I guess a third. Ooh. I like this. Like a third of the things you click on the track are actually literally just credits. And then half of these boxes or whatever are credits too. Not literally half, but you get the idea. So it's like, you know, probably 40% of your rewards or something are just refunds. Maria Hill. This might be the noir one or something. Lady with short hair. No superhero aspects at all. Just lady with pixie haircut. Blue Marvel, that looks pretty good. I like that a little more. I feel like sometimes I'm just a negative Nancy with these reserve opening videos, you know, like I'm generally just happy-go-lucky guy playing the game, having fun playing the game, and then I get into these videos and it's like, these rewards all suck. And this is disappointing, but I don't think it's unfair, right? I don't think it's unwarranted or anything. I think that's a completely reasonable take. Now, this is actually a pretty funny portrait because it's like, it's actually almost full figured, but his head is so big and his tiny little body popping out. I kind of like that. But that's how I've always been with Marvel Snap, right? I've always thought the gameplay was just stupidly brilliantly designed. Like, I think the gameplay is just so smart, so snappy, so fun. I love the gameplay, and I've always hated the systems. I've always hated the monetization. I've always hated every other aspect of the of the game. Just the game itself is really good. Hold My Root Beer. There's one of those dumb food titles I was talking about. I think this one's kind of funnier. Like, hold my beer is a, you know, common phrase, but this is hold my root beer, so that's clever. Speaking of all the systems and hating all the systems and stuff supporting the game. Ooh, Baby Hulk. Kind of like this. The letters say Smash. That's funny. It kind of reminds me of my baby, so that's one of my more favorite baby ones. But speaking of systems, I'm sure a lot of you saw the... I almost made a dedicated video about this, but I decided not to. But I'm sure a lot of you saw the... what was it? Summer Games Fest, like IGN announcements or whatever, for Marvel Snap, where they announced like the new roadmap and they announced like the new Deadpool event that's going to be happening next month. Ooh, I've never seen this. I feel like I don't even remember seeing this like in a game, or this must be fairly new. I feel like I've never encountered this this variant before. It's really not my favorite Dan Hip, to be honest. I feel like the kind of wind movement thingies are a little clunky looking, but I do like the background color. Very nice and vibrant. But you know, they announced the Deadpool event that's coming next month. They talked about the new alliances, which are like kind of guilds or alliances where you're going to be able to join kind of a group of fellow players in Marvel Snap and chat and do missions and stuff. Dan Hip War Machine. We are really cleaning up on the Dan Hips. I like this one pretty well. The coloring choice is interesting. He's got this kind of like purple lighting glow around his, you know, borders, but his background is like orange. You would think that would almost be more like orange to capture the fire, but I guess he has like pink glowing elements, so maybe that's just coming from his own glow. It looks kind of cool. I like it either way. But my takeaway from all this conversation about the systems and the announcements and stuff, I mean, a lot of people were pretty disappointed. I can't pretend I was super excited either. But what it is they did this whole announcement. They did this whole thing on IGN, this whole interview, which, number one, like, didn't actually make it into the live event. They like posted it later afterwards, which seems super weird. People were waiting around for like 4 hours to watch a thing that never aired. Pixel Mystique. Yeah, it's not bad. I actually am okay with that. But the whole announcement, the whole takeaway, the whole thing they posted on the website, all it talks about is systems. It talks about like reward tracks and unlocking things, and it showed like UI mock-ups of the event and like all the different like progress things in the event, and the UI for alliances showed all these like reward tracks and earnings and stuff. Nothing showed a lick of gameplay. There wasn't 1 second of gameplay. They didn't show a full card. You could kind of technically see Cassandra Nova as a reward for a reward track, but they didn't show any cards. They didn't show any gameplay. They didn't show the game itself. And every time they do these announcements, I feel like the announcements are just about all the systems and they never talk about the video game. And it's like, yes, I know Marvel Snap, a lot of people almost play it for the systems, like collecting cards, upgrading cards, getting, you know, new variant appearances and variants and stuff. That does become a chunk of the game for a lot of people. It's like the actual card gameplay is almost secondary to the collection aspects. But for a lot of us, the card gameplay is number one priority. Like, I care way less about variants and upgrades and all that stuff. And rewards tracks, that's just an ins to a mean to get to the card game and the cards. So I always get really frustrated for those, like, you know, they're announcing this thing on IGN, potentially reaching new viewers who don't play the game, and they don't show you an ounce of gameplay. They don't show you any cool animations. They don't show you any cool card effects. They don't even show you how the game works. If you've never seen Marvel Snap before and you're seeing an announcement on IGN, you're just going to see a bunch of menu screens. You're going to see a bunch of reward tracks and currencies, and it's like, who's that going to appeal to? No one who's new to the game is going to care at all about that, because it's a bunch of stuff and details they don't have any insight into, and they don't even know what the game is like. They don't get to see Spider-Man fighting Magneto, you know, like, that's the cool thing. I want to see Spider-Man fighting Magneto. That's cool. I want to play Magneto. He's my favorite character, you know, whatever. Not me literally, but that's the thing people care about, and they don't show it. They could show off a bunch of new cards that are coming out. Like, we've got the Deadpool season coming. These are the new cards coming in the Deadpool season. Check out their cool animations. See them doing these awesome things. And they just don't do that. They just don't do that. So it frustrates me so much. It's almost like every time they make announcements or like get excited about something, they're only excited about the systems and not the gameplay. And that to me is so incredibly frustrating, because I think a lot of us are excited about the gameplay. It almost feels secondary in a lot of ways to the people who are promoting the game, which I don't think is good for player bases in general. But it makes you worried that the priorities are out of whack, and that the systems and the rewards and the monetization and the progression models and the engagement models, all that stuff, they're more focused on that than they are on the actual gameplay. At least that seems to be where their priorities are reflected when it comes to promotion. So anyway, this is a cool Dan Hip variant again. I actually like this one a lot. Hercules looks cool. It's funny, Dan trying to give like hairiness to his like cartoony characters. It's like, it's got a hairy chest and arms and stuff, which is pretty amusing. But how many Dan Hips did we get out of all our variants so far? It's a vast majority, huh? Kind of feels that way in the game too. A lot of variants are Dan Hips, I guess. So anyway, that's my rant. Ooh, that's a cool one, dude. That's a cool one. Yeah, Pantheon Dracula. I actually played through Hades for the first time a few weeks ago, a month ago. When Hades 2 got announced, basically I was like, it's time. I gotta play Hades. So I didn't do like a full completion, but I beat Hades once and called it a day. Which, you know, I was definitely intrigued with the art style. So now these Pantheon Hades reference variants definitely go a little further for me than they used to. This one looks pretty sick. I like this pose a lot. Very cool. Dramatic sort of pose for Dracula. Looks good. Oh, apparently it was is there like a Pantheon album? I'm not even sure. I didn't see. We'll check later. We'll go look at all the album results in a minute. More tokens. So anyway, pardon my rant, but I wanted to make a whole video about it. I didn't get a chance, or just didn't really want to. It's like, I hate making a whole video that's just whining. It's like, it is important whining. I think it's good to air that, but I don't want to make a whole video about it. So here's my chance to rant a little bit, air my frustrations. Credits, credits, credits. See, this is the stuff they would advertise. Hey, look, you can open 150 credits. Pixel Shang-Chi, huh? Okay, I don't hate this. Not one of the worst pixels by any means. Pretty good. Dig it. Are we almost out? Like, I don't know how many. Let's see. No, we have 23 to go. Okay, so 3/4 of the way through. I would say we've gotten, you know, variants. Doesn't feel like we're getting. Oh, dude, Sunspot. How do I not have the Sunspot Dan Hip? I love it. It's cool. Yeah, I like it. I feel like I have a ton of Sunspot. Oh, we're getting close on that album. Nice. I know that it's like fixed intervals for all these results, but it does feel like we've gotten a good amount of variants. I don't feel like I'm getting ripped off. Hopefully we run out of titles. Back in the day, I ran out of titles. Horoscope said Hulk on 6. Yep, that's cute. He says he doesn't want to be a downer. He doesn't want a whole video to be negative, and then he makes this video. No, I like my variants. Okay, I'm chill with the Dan Hip variants. I do prefer the more like fancy variants. I think a lot of people do the more elegant or cool or badass looking variants. Maximus Pickle. The Maximus Pickle. That was my nickname in college. I actually like this one a lot. I'll tell you why. This pixel looks really, really good. And do you know why it looks so freaking good? I can tell you exactly stylistically why I like it. It's because he doesn't have that gaudy black outline around his character that so many of the pixels have. We'll take a look at it later when we look at the variants, but like Shang-Chi has this black outline. They always do a black pixel outline, which just doesn't read well at this scale of pixel. This one does not have that black outline. So you can see like the border of the character is just whatever color it needs to be. The gun has a little bit of a dark outline. That's fine. It looks okay. But Maximus himself, he just reads with so much more depth that way. You have like a whole extra row of pixels to kind of do cool things with. So that looks really good. That's an A+ pixel, I would say. They should do that more often. It's just, it's almost like they wanted the pixels to capture the comic book feel too much. I don't think they needed to. None of the other variants have to look like comic books necessarily. There's plenty of like painted ones that don't have line work visible. Is this gonna be an ongoing hip? Didn't pop up. I don't know. See that Sarah hip a lot. I think that's one of people's favorite. Oh, there it was, staying hip. Yeah, nice. 9 out of 12 is almost certainly going to be a break point where we get something, right? Newly housebroken. Cool. It's almost like I just don't I don't know where these titles come from. I don't know. I just want one cool title now and then that's like, you know, something cool Marvel themed, whatever cool Marvel, you know, thing. The only example I can ever think of is Herald of Galactus, but that is actually a title, I think. But that sort of stuff, you know, like something that sounds cool instead of goofy. Let's get one more non-hip variant. I want a cool, stylish variant. This might be it. It's taking forever to load. Oh, it's pixel instead. Okay. Again, not my most hated though. This is an alright pixel. Has a little bit more of that line work we talk about on the outer edge, but it's not too bad. It's actually pretty reasonable compared to most. There's portions where it does not have the gaudy black line work, so it looks pretty good. Yeah. Some of these seem to be improved. I don't feel like I've seen that pixel Heimdall much at all, like in other people playing it or randomly, so that might be a new one. I wonder if Maximus is also more new. Oh, final one! Final box! Tokens. Okay. So I did make a note and record how many credits and tokens I had beforehand. So I'll cut to that right now. I have 760 credits and 26,000 tokens. And now we'll take a look at what we ended up with. So I think it was like 760 or something up to 6,000. So 5,800 credits. That actually feels pretty good. And then Pretty sure this was 26,000, which means we got 2,100 tokens, which also feels pretty good. All right, so now let's hop over to the albums. We got Move Your Hips as well. Oh, nice. The Arrow and the Hercules connecting. Cool. So that's 1,000 credits, dude. That's awesome. That's a good free bonus. I don't want this Heimdall, though, man. This Werewolf by Night's super sick, too. Man, that's very cool. We need Spider-Man, Meek, and Multiple Man, and Cloak. Okay. Sure, we'll get those. Are these super rares? Rare, 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 and rare. Yeah, we'll get those eventually, I'm sure. And then we had Staying Hip. Yeah, dude, we got a ton. We got Sarah, Claw, and Ant-Man. Now we need Dazzler, or just all the Dan Hips rare, I guess. I don't think there's any super rares. Omega Red. Yeah, I feel like we'll get this. Oh, Iron Man. How do I not have Iron Man, dude? So many Iron Man variants. Look at this. I have endless Iron Man variants. This one's so cool. Man, that's really nice. This one's cool too, actually. Jeez. Iron Man has good variants. This one's cool too. Anyway, Cosmo Dan Hip. Nice. A cute Cosmo. Okay. Oh, I didn't know I had that. What else did we get? Did we get one more? This one, low cost. Oh yeah, Sunspot. Low cost, high impact. All right, so we just need to get to the Iceman. We have Titania and Elektra. Yeah, it seems like the Dan Hips are gonna fill me out pretty fast. Like, we're getting close. We had Boss Babies as well, but we need one more to get the Kang. Okay. There's definitely some rares here too still available. Nebula and Iron Man are super rare, but we might be able to get to the Kang Kang variant there. I mean, to what end though, right? To what end? So let's look at newest and check out our variant haul here. How many did we actually end up with? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 6 is 11, and 6 is 17. That feels pretty good. Yeah, that feels above my expectations a little bit. How many Dan Hips do we get? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, well, this actually wasn't in the thing, so actually it was 16 variants, 7 of which were Dan Hips. But I'm going to show you what I mean about the pixels, by the way. See how this black outline is on this Shang-Chi? Which actually doesn't look too bad here. It's one of the better black outlines, but Maximus just doesn't feel the need to have that. There's a little bit of a defining outline on this far edge of his coat, but so much of him just is happy to just, you know, have the whatever color it is be the outline. I think that goes really far. This Mystique also has the black outline. Little clunkier here, but still not too bad. I'm sure if we look at some of the other past pixel cards, we'll see some really ugly black outlines. By the way, this Null is so sick, dude. That is really nice. This is another one that's not too bad, I would say, and it has some elements that don't have it, like his flaming head, which is cool. This actually, again, looks okay too with his outline. Not coming up with good examples. I'm sure you guys agree with me though that some of these have very ugly pixel outlines. I'm sure we'll find one. Gonna keep scrolling. It's gonna be edits in the videos. I scroll for 35 minutes. Why do these all look okay to me? Like, why do all these pixel variants look okay? These all look pretty good. They're not the like clunky ugly ones. These are all pretty good. Even Wong's pretty good. Why? Did they change all the pixels? Why do they look good? I mean, even this looks okay to me. Oh my god, dude, where are the ugly pixels? I know there's some ugly pixels. Silver Surfer is kind of an ugly one. Maybe this is our example. Like, would this just look better without the outline? I wonder. It might. You know, he's supposed to be shiny, and this kind of gives him that weird defined edge. Okay, Helicarrier is an ugly pixel. Like, this is ugly. It's a hard one to make though, but it's definitely got an outline. It doesn't necessarily need. If you could use those same pixels to add more like color or depth, it might help, you know. Anyway, this has been the worst, most boring exercise ever. But yeah, I think a decent haul here. I mean, this is definitely the standout for me. I guess I'll rate these variants as I always do. Claw is a 3 out of 5. Ant-Man is a 3 out of 5. Sentry Luchador is a 3 out of 5. I don't know, something about his like muscle structure feels weird to me. Pixie is a... give that one a 4 out of 5. I like how there's a lot of characters. Baby Hulk is 4 out of 5. Arrow is 2 out of 5. I don't love this one. War Machine's 4 out of 5. I like War Machine a lot. Mystique's 2 out of 5. Hercules, like 4 out of 5. I like that one pretty well. Dracula, 5 out of 5. That looks really sick. Actually has a lot of the same vibes as this one, but yeah, 4 out of 5 or 5 out of 5. Blueprint War Machine. I do like War Machine, but this isn't necessarily my favorite. I'd say 3 out of 5. Shang-Chi, 2 out of 5. Sunspot, 3 out of 5. Maximus, I'm actually going to give this one a 3 out of 5, which is high for a pixel. That looks pretty cool. Sarah, 4 out of 5. Heimdall, 2 out of 5. And I guess we'll go Cosmo 2 is 3 out of 5. So not my favorite holo variants, but still not bad. Nothing super sick like this cool Blade or this cool Magic. A lot of good ones recently. I actually like this this MODOK a lot too. I like Luca Claretti stuff a ton. So anyway, not too bad. So what do you guys think? Was this worth it or not? As always, do you guys hate or love opening your reserves? Are any of you out there saving them for stuff later? I'm curious to hear all those thoughts and more down in the comments below. Thank you as much always for watching, and until next time, game on.